They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host on that, A'Lo and Eck. Clap it up, clap it up. Thank you. just in the nick of time, the OTP Eric Trembicki. How you doing, man?
You're doing great. Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. How can I forget?
Acknowledge me.
There we go. All right. So as always, guys, for your best viewing / listening pleasure, make sure to watch on the YouTube channel. Thumbs up, turn your post notifications to anything for the algorithm. Ringside Collectibles, code MMADNESS, save 10% off of your order. So, took a week off. Nothing much happened. I think it would have been a waste of time to come back last week. So let's see what's been going on. So it was ugly, but the Eagles won.
Horrendous.
We'd love to see that. AJ Brown, my ninja.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Thank you. What else happened in the world? Oh, by the way, somebody get my MAGA hat. Make America green again. Chelsea Green is the WUS champion again, so salute to that.
The greatest under 2-minute match in WWE history.
Look at all the good that's happened since then. Like, honestly, like the government's open again. Like come on. Like some Chelsea good. I was so happy. I could not be more happy when I saw that actually happen. So salute to Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. We'll talk about Ethan Page in a little bit as well. All right. Also,
we're talking about a lot of championship changes.
Yes, we sure will. Also, John Cena won the IC title. Grand Slam, baby.
Maybe the greatest Intercontinental champion. Yeah, no, up there. He's like with Pat Patterson and them.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, yes, you know what? We'll get to that now, I think. All right, so John Cena has completed his, I guess, the missing link in his career, and he won the Intercontinental Championship, defeating Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, I'll put my feelings aside for this part. So, Mr. A'Lo and Eck over here was so ecstatic to see John Cena win the Intercontinental Championship on Monday night. So, give me your thoughts on John Cena finally winning the big one.
Look, we haven't, but we could tally. We're sitting here, 44 plus weeks into the year. No, so obviously we didn't record 44 episodes, but over this year, we talked about him, who he could be facing, who he could be challenging, what he could be doing this tour. We've talked about him winning this championship. Slam. And there's a really cool picture going around social media from the past couple of weeks of 8 active WWE wrestlers that need one championship to become a Grand Slam winner. When that list came out like 2 weeks ago, when I'm like, man, I'm really finally starting to believe that this is not going to happen with him and Dom, especially when it started looking like Dom's going to end up doing something with his dad at Survivor Series. I'm just like, all right, it's not going to happen. Me, as A'Lo and Eck championship mark, I'm like, it should happen. John should do this. But looking at the list, you're like, maybe Shinsuke, and it almost looks like of these 8, maybe none of them would become a Grand Slam winner. It's huge and awesome for him to do. It's the greatest. So Monday Night Raw, we'll get a little more in depth with everything on it, but it was the best episode of the year. Had the Eagles game on my laptop, which I made the right choice, put that on the smaller screen. Raw was on, and it delivered top to bottom. But it was awesome. It was a feel-good. You almost clamored for the idea of, like, he had a couple matches on SmackDown, maybe one match on Raw this whole year, if any. And you're like, it's his hometown. He should do a match. He should super Cena someone. He should squash someone. And, it was cool. Triple H was out there. You're like, this feels important. Dom's music hit, and I'm like, man, if we get the match, I started thinking they're going to make this a non-title match. And they did. And then, they made it a championship match. And they had a good couple false finishes, the ref bump. It got, imagine this, us, and anyone like me, I've never thought like this is one of the most exciting. I'm not saying it's his best match. He's had better matches this year, but it was one of the most exciting Cena matches because when the ref bump happens, you're like, okay, cool. You know, we got him versus Dom. We got him challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. And him actually winning, it was awesome. It wasn't, you know, there was maybe a little bit of slop in the way that the match wrapped up, but I'm happy for him. 2 singles championships in 1 year. The first one he wins as a heel. And, you know, like I've heard on another show, this is the absolute last time you'll ever hear and new whatever champion John Cena. Obviously, we got 3 last appearances. Maybe it'll be 3 matches. Maybe it'll be 2 matches. Maybe it's just 1, and we'll see him twice. But pretty cool. And especially if he only has that match being his last match, if he's going to put someone over, you're going to get the huge rub of beating Cena and potentially becoming an Intercontinental Champion as well.
Yeah, so when it came to this, the internet was throwing out the rumor that this was going to happen on Raw Monday night, and of course it eventually does. Now, me and you talked about this through the entire year, but he has that whole missing. He has that one missing thing on his mantle, and that's the IC title. And the whole thing, we were talking about AJ beating Dom because AJ was in that long-term story with Dom, and that could have made the AJ versus Cena match more important. And I'm still sticking to that. I wish it happened that way, opposed to Dom being sacrificed. Even though I do think Dom will probably end up winning the title back, if not next week on Raw or at the Survivor Series. If it's going to end up being the match, but I'm glad he got it done. The excitement behind it was the fact that I think that we kind of. Like, we all knew that he was missing this. We knew he never challenged for the IC title before. And
I just brought that stat up, which you pointed out on the show recently, and it's like one of those things. I'm like, again, I didn't watch for 7 years, so like when you said that on the show, I think 2 weeks ago, I was like, wait, he's never even challenged for it once. Like, it's funny, like you almost think like, oh, like Brock Lesnar has challenged for the Intercontinental Championship. He's never won it, but it's another thing that's awesome. His last month. He's challenging for the Intercontinental Championship for the first time and winning it.
Yeah, because the U.S. title, because since Cena was a SmackDown guy, the U.S. title was always prominent on SmackDown. And when he eventually went to Raw, he was the WWE champion.
Yeah.
So this was, in my memory, I'm pretty sure this is accurate, unless they said it on Raw. But I'm almost positive.
I don't think they said it, but I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. I'm 100% right.
I'm pretty sure you're right. So, and
the excitement behind it was because, like, all right, we know this is coming. We know this is the only time he's challenged for this title. We know that it's coming. So we're all excited about it. It's just, I'm on the boat of, at the expense of your probably top superstar at this point in Dom. Dom doesn't necessarily lose anything because Dom's still going to be a big star in the company. But I do think he's going to win it back. But I am happy John Cena got this accolade. It's a little cheap. It's a little cheap heat. A cheap pop. But
and that's sometimes championships change that way, and sometimes it just makes sense. Like it's not going to be not to put Cena in that spot, but like anytime any older wrestler usually wins a championship or somebody comes back after they've been retired for a while and they win, like it's not it's not a 5-star classic, but it's for the moment, and that moment was real. Like, I popped like an MF, like watching that. I'm like, hell yeah, that was good. It was exciting. And it was a great way to start a great episode of Raw.
Yeah, it really was. It was definitely a feel-good moment. I think everybody pretty much won because everybody knew he never won it. So like I said, he has that last missing piece on his mantle actually finally fulfilled. So
if you remember like 20, maybe even 17, but like definitely 2018, 2019, 2020, it felt like nonstop. There was, hey, this person just became a Grand Slam winner. This person just became a Grand Slam winner. And like, I feel like for a while, nobody has like, I feel like it's been a little stretch since somebody won it. And not to discredit any of the people that have won it in the past 10 years, but especially since he's on his way out. And I said this to you in a text, but like pretty cool if you think like this has been a thing that has existed in the lore of wrestling for almost 30 years, becoming a Grand Slam winner. And the first ever was Shawn Michaels. And the most recent is John Cena. And I mean, it's really bookends some strong talent who have done it.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking forward because we only have 3 dates left with him. I said I predict that.
What if he drops it to Miz on Monday and he becomes a 9-time champion? It'd be crazy.
I predict he's going to drop it back to Dom, but I wasn't quite sure where they were going with Dom here because I thought it was going to be like title versus mask with his dad. Maybe as Survivor. They can still do it, but I don't think this will be a long reign for John Cena. What was that?
He's still champion.
Yeah. So
I mean, him and his dad could do that over the
AAA,
the AAA Mega Championship because his dad's never held it. There's still a lot they can go that way, and that way it's not tying up 2 belts, and it's also going to make the AAA matter more. Which also shout out, I believe WWE today just signed Chavo Guerrero to help them with booking and everything with that company. So
yeah, and we hope that counts as a legend deal, so we can get Los Guerreros in Elite.
Hell yeah! Give me the ultimate.
Yeah. So also something going on with John Cena, and this is the last time is now tournament. So Saturday night's main event last couple weeks ago, the tournament was announced, and it's interesting so far because we still have TBD matches to be determined to see who's going to end up facing John Cena potentially in his final match. So on Monday, we got Rusev defeating Damian Priest, Sheamus defeated Shinsuke, and then we have The Miz taking on Jey Uso, LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. Javon Evans is going to face Gunther next week, and Solo is going to face a surprise opponent as well. And we have 2 more matches that are to be determined. So when it comes to this last time is now tournament, I think it's a good idea. I think it's fun. John Cena even said there's probably going to be people who aren't even with the company anymore, which also throws in that fun aspect of it, including the whole NXT thing. Because from the jump, it was pretty much talked about that Gunther will be the person who would face John Cena, but now the fact that we have these mystery people that are going to be revealed throughout the upcoming weeks, throw some intrigue in there. But I do think ultimately it probably will be Gunther. But what are your thoughts on this entire thing so far?
Maybe complete mark for it, but most exciting tournament WWE has made in quite some time. Now, obviously, I don't want to call anything like throwaway per se, but like the first 2 matches on Raw, good matches, but a funny stat, I guess, when Sheamus beat Cena for his first WWE Championship was on December 13th of 2009. So December 13th of 25, he could potentially finally become a Grand Slam winner and beat Cena on the same day all these years later. But I don't like Rusev and Sheamus going over, and what was it? Shinsuke and who else lost?
Sheamus beat Shinsuke.
Sheamus beat Shinsuke. Rusev beat
Priest.
I honestly like Rusev, especially since he's been taking some L's. Priest being a former world champion, I was a little surprised for him to take but like at the end of the day, I don't see any of these 4 guys being who's going. I love the intrigue of, obviously people that don't work here. Maybe we get a Cardona spotting. Like I would like a surprise or a return winning the whole thing. Obviously, the rumor of Gunther, but it's been exciting. And I look forward to us getting a surprise on SmackDown. And then we're going to get the final matches be announced. And then we got another surprise on Raw. So it's exciting. And then obviously, like we've already talked about, 2 other matches before his last match or 2 other appearances. Just playing devil's advocate, if he doesn't face Dom or defend the IC title till the end of the tournament, I also like the added stake that, hey, you're not just facing John, not in his last match, can potentially get that huge rub, but we could potentially be getting a new champion. So it's all exciting to me.
Yeah. So something popped up in my head today. This will be kind of an interactive question because we all know in the world, like timing is everything. For example, behind me, I have a Power Ranger shelf, and this might be, I don't know if anybody ever thought about this, but Power Rangers came with the perfect timing because of the dinosaurs. and that summer Jurassic Park came out. So part of the popularity in
Jurassic Express works somewhere else, bro.
Jurassic Park. 93, Jurassic Park movie came out. So kids love dinosaurs. They love the movie. It was a hit. The original Power Rangers based on dinosaurs. So we all know that John Cena, we've all heard the story about John Cena in 2002 was about to be released. And Stephanie heard him freestyling in the back of the bus. Now, I'm talking about timing and things that worked. So if you remember in 2002, who was the biggest rapper around?
In 2002.
And what movie came out?
8 Mile?
Yes.
Okay.
So do you think that John Cena, overall, great superstar. He's done a lot. This is the official podcast of John Cena. We haven't said it in a while. But do you think that John Cena's success was perfect timing because of what was going on and how big Eminem was? The rap.
Him being popular then and that first gimmick, hell yeah. Because also think about his next gimmick and how hated it was to the masses for a long time. Yeah, 1,000%.
Okay. It was something I thought about today.
Him becoming liked now, modern era, beginning of this podcast, becoming the official John Cena show. You could argue that's all just a nostalgia tour.
Yeah, because I thought about that today. I do a lot of thinking in my mail truck. So I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? Timing's everything. And that gimmick worked, and at that time, and especially what was going on in the world. So I did think about that, and I'm glad you kind of agree with me. Now, I remember before we started the show, you mentioned something that you watched that you wanted to talk about.
Well, all right. So I'll circle back to wrestling. Our normal. What have you watched lately? For comedy stakes, I watched today. We're the Millers.
I haven't seen it.
Have you ever seen it?
It's been a while.
I've never seen it. Seen it. And it's funny because I just finished Shameless a few weeks ago, and there was when I was early, the first or second season, there's obviously a couple little clips that you've seen on Reels or TikTok or in YouTube Shorts, and I'm like, oh, this has got to be that. They got that funny blah blah blah. And someone at work no, you're thinking of this movie. And I was skimming through a Netflix earlier, so I watched that. Hilarious, great movie. Outside of that, we just got done talking about Raw. Well, talking about at least the opening match, IC title. I did watch SmackDown last week. I saw some of NXT yesterday. Phenomenal week for wrestling. Also just watched probably one of the best episodes of Dynamite in I don't know how long. A long 3-match card, 2.5 hours, blood and guts. I'll just say this, with War Games coming up in a week or two. The men's match in the main event was great. Kyle O'Reilly got a tap-out finish over Mox, so shout out to him. Didn't see that coming. Maybe they pushed him a little more since Adam Cole's probably sidelined for a good long while, but that's Mox tapping out twice recently off regular submission moves. He tapped out to an ankle lock tonight, and Darby made him tap out at the last pay-per-view to the sharpshooter. That was it. The main event was better than I expected, especially after the women did their first blood and guts match, and I didn't even know who was going to be in it. I didn't know if it was 3-on-3, 4-on-4. It ended up being 6-on-6. Every one of those women showed their ass, figuratively. The bumps, the spots. I love a good, especially because girls are lighter, like a table spot where a girl, she fell, and because of the distance she fell, the table could have broke. An elbow drop into it, and the table just cracked a little bit. Mercedes took a crazy off the, like OG 97 Hell in the Cell spot off the, a table spot. The women's match, anyone, if you're listening, if you're even a tenth of a fan of AEW, got to go watch that women's match. There was a Falls Count Anywhere match between Hangman and Hobbs that was also banger delivered. But the women's match, shout out to them. Again, I expected a 2, and they delivered a 12 out of 10. Great match. So, yeah, what about you? What have you watched lately?
So I haven't watched it a lot lately. I've just been trying to study basketball, the NBA, because the NBA is back from my gambling problem. Other than that, not much, just the weekly content. Now, there is something I did want to talk about because while we were away, we did have Saturday night's main event. And after Saturday night's main event, this group picture was taken. As you can see, it's Jay Cargill, CM Punk, Ricky Saints, and Cody Rhodes, all former AEW talents. And after this picture, Mercedes Moné, she commented, AEW is everywhere. And that got the internet talking about how WWE has put the titles on these AEW stars. And so,
I mean, it's just such a stupid take when two of them are former WWE champions.
I know.
Like
you'll see where I'm going. But with these four, and there's more.
And it's cool because, like, obviously, like, they're all friendly, but, like, Cody, Jade, and Ricky are, like, really, really, really close friends.
Yeah, they are. They 100%. But that got me thinking because it's not just these four in this picture. There are others that are flourishing.
NXT.
They're flourishing in NXT. So, do you think that AEW's losses have become WWE's gains? Because a lot of these guys, they were afterthoughts in AEW, and I think, except maybe one, I prefer the AEW run over WWE. So, what are your thoughts on these four?
And again, there's one of them that you prefer their AEW run, and everyone else you don't.
Yeah, I think Jade's AEW run up to this point has been better than her WWE run. Because like I said, I've said this to you numerous times. That woman is not no baby face.
She's I think in farther down the line, I think she'll better than a lot of women will be able to do both. Because the only thing arguably that didn't really work for her is maybe because she's still a little green. But, and then she had an injury. But overall, I think it already, and again, probably too soon to tell. I mean, she had like a 51-second promo on SmackDown since she's turned heel and won the championship. But we're now getting her as a heel. We've had her for about 2 years as a face, 2-time tag team champion, now the WWE Women's Champion. I mean, so accolades there. And like the majority, if not the entire time in AEW, she was champion. So, yes, very different. I don't want to knock her AEW run, but I think it's definitely is too soon to hate on it. I'd almost argue, and again, I feel like it's too soon. In a way, I almost liked Ricky Starks more than Saints.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, again, just because. Maybe he's just better at being a heel. He was a heel the whole time in AEW, and maybe just him as a baby face, like, cool, maybe he'll be able to do both. But I really wish in AEW didn't do it. I really wish he could just, especially with the WWE budget, he needs to do the promos he did on the Indies and in NWA. Like Miami Vice-esque, make these like he made home video promos and they were gold. That's how I became a fan of him before he answered Cody's TNT Open Challenge. But yeah, there's still a big upside for him. There's still more he can do. Ethan Page, yeah, his run's been better, but it's been because he's been winning. And obviously, two championship reigns already. Currently a 3 championship reigns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
and then 4 title. He's double champ right now.
Yeah, double. That's what I meant. So yeah, 3 reigns. The one, the AAA, the NXT.
Well, he did win the North American twice.
Oh, he did. Oh,
yeah, because he beat Ricky. He got it back from Ricky Saints.
Got it. Yeah. So all right. Yeah, he's definitely 4 championships. I mean, how can you knock that? Yeah. And in barely a year flat, just over a year.
Over a year, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, but for what it's worth, yeah, they are AEW's loss, WWE's gain. But at the same time, devil's advocate, if they probably wouldn't be given this opportunity if they weren't in AEW and didn't do what they did there. Obviously, Cody wouldn't be a 2-time WWE champion right now if he didn't go leave the company, go start AEW, and blah, 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 rest is history.
Yeah, because also this goes back to gambling. There's a term, it's called "if it ain't broke, don't fix it." So a lot of these AEW guys, like I said, their AEW's lost become WWE's gains. Jade Cargill, she was in the system with WWE prior to signing with AEW. Ricky Saints was as well, but they saw what the presentation was over there, and they essentially brought that presentation over to WWE. Now, like I said, Ethan Page, light years ahead. I'm not we talk about this all the time. When you're like the world champion, it's like, all right, I don't care for you, but when you come back down to earth and come back to like the IC or the mid card section, I love you. So is NXT title run one of the biggest fan? This North American Championship run, and now that he got Chelsea Green with him, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. And I agree with that. The one thing, and I think that was great for him with that NXT title reign, is the fact of how damn fast he did it. His first or second match, and just the way it was all presented, that was good. That was,
yeah.
I would argue he hasn't done a damn thing wrong. Also, before he first won the NXT North American title, I also loved him like downplaying. Like he's like, oh, I already was that. Why do I want to go for that? And then also the custom NXT championship strap. Actually, I was talking to a friend who's not a wrestling fan, but he watched it as a kid, and he follows Ethan Page's toy vlogs, and so like he has his his figure toy, his Jazzwares, and now his Mattel figures. And he was like, do you think they're going to do one with his Canadian belt? And I was like, dude, look, as much a fan you are, you should know he's in like a small handful. There's probably been like 20 WWE guys to get a custom belt. And then I was like, I think he's like one of 11 people. So that's even more shout out to him.
Yeah. Now the whole Jade thing, because like I was listening to her on an interview with the Wrestling Classic one time, and you can kind of tell that this is just my opinion from what I listened to was this is just it. The business is the business for her, and then like when she was in AEW and when she came to WWE, they kind of told her to kind of like, kind of like give to the fans a little bit. Don't look at it just as the business is the business, So her AEW run, like they booked her as her, like she was dominant. She's always had the aura about it. She was a heel the entire time. Even when she came out with the women's title on SmackDown last week, she's like, yeah, I'm that bitch, etc. So that's a lot of her AEW stuff. Now the whole Bow Wow shit. You could be getting that shit. It was fun. I just wanted to see her destroy.
Shout out to Shaq.
That's just me. Even though Bow Wow is a legend. Bow Wow's a legend. But by the way, thank you.
Remember he used to review sneakers?
Tonight was open mic night, bitch.
Now when it comes to Cody, it's like in AEW, Cody was pretty lost. I think we all agreed at that. We all agreed on that at some point in time that he was lost. I'm preferring Ricky Saints opposed to Ricky Starks. I can't wait for him to turn heel in NXT. And there's somebody else that we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. Rusev / Miro's like I didn't really need him back in WWE. And Malachi Black, we do have him back in WWE now, so we'll talk about him in a second. But Malachi Black, Aleister Black, he's going to get his shine, and Rusev was actually finally starting to get his shine since being back with WWE. So WWE, they're definitely taking the formula that AEW created with some of these guys, and some of these people are going to be their future stars and potentially world champions. Jade currently the world champion for the women, and in NXT. So right now, I talked about Aleister Black. So a couple weeks ago,
what's Brian Pillman's son's name? Lexus King.
Lexus King, yes.
He's got not only has he got the Heritage Cup, but he's won all the same championships his dad won in WWE. Not the best work.
So a couple weeks ago, we had Zelina Vega aligning with Aleister Black in during a match with Damian Priest, and we've gotten a couple of promos from these two together, and then we had Aleister Black take on Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Now, Malachi Black / Aleister Black was somebody that was a mainstay in AEW during his time there. We were pretty much wondering what was going on with him because we hadn't seen him for a certain amount of time in AEW, but now he's back in WWE. Had an interesting run over the past few months until now, and now he's aligned with his wife, and she also had pretty much a strange year as well. You know, she won the WUS title, and that pretty much amounted to nothing. It amounted to nothing, and then they removed her from the LWO. Now she's aligned with her husband. And what are your thoughts on this entire duo?
I like this for them. I love this for Aleister. Love Aleister. You know, we just mentioned about Cody being lost. I believe Malachi Black was the second person to ever beat Cody in AEW.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost positive.
So I'm very much looking forward for this being revisited. And as much as I'll say Aleister Black could be in that rare exception where I'd like somebody on, you know, their first championship on the main roster being a WWE title. I'm here for that for him. But I also like the idea of Cody getting his lick back and finally getting his W on him because he never got a win over on Aleister. So I think that would be a good thing to run back. But Cody, man, he's got to be one of the most slapped wrestlers in the history of time. From Jade to Zelina to Travis to The Rock to, jeez, I don't. I'm sure there's 46 names I'm forgetting, but yeah,
names.
Poor guy.
All right. So last thing before the advertised content, guys. Thanks for everybody for staying with us. Hit a thumb for the algorithm. So interesting. We all know WWE can be petty at times, and we got wrestling fan, rapper, and was it Fourth Rope?
Fourth Rope.
We had West Side Gun kicked out of Raw in Buffalo last week. And he took to his Instagram and he showed some footage from what happened from him being kicked out of Raw. There's music in here, so I don't want to get copyrighted, so there's not going to be any audio. And this is West Side Gun being escorted out of Raw. And as I said, he took to his Instagram saying that he got kicked out of Raw for absolutely nothing, and fans and his people that he's aligned with on Fourth Rope, including Enzo Amore, they took to Instagram to say and take up for him as well. And he put out an Instagram post talking about for years that he's been a huge wrestling fan. Even when nobody was watching, he got others to watch, and the little kid in him is hurt. And like I said, we all know WWE they can be very petty at times, and what's going around is that they kicked him out because of his association with AEW doing the Hurt Business's theme song. So,
what a stretch! I mean,
this is what everybody's speculating.
Yeah, but but he's been attending AEW shows this whole time.
I don't know.
Episode 1 of Dynamite, I was row 6. He was row 1. He was literally right in front of me. There's got to be more to it. He didn't say that. I mean, I think that's a lazy damn speculation.
Yeah, I do too.
He did that song it feels like a year ago. Like that song's been around for a year.
I do too. I don't know why. Now granted, the one thing I want people to stop doing is Triple H is not WWE. He's just the only guy that y'all can blame for everything.
You know what's so annoying with that? And they're the people like Vince would never. Yo, you hated Vince for 10 years. Shut up. Then we love Triple H gave us WrestleMania 40. We loved him. The 41 wasn't better, so now everyone hates him. So it's insane.
Yeah, but I said we all can kind of feel for him. But I really am curious to know what actually really happened.
I look forward.
I'm not going to put it past WWE to beat that petty. All right, enough. Something dumb for these.
No,
like,
the thing that's confusing to me is obviously like with the WWE TNA relationship, like TNA has done a lot with Fourth Rope, and like for like TNA, like when Fourth Rope does a show, they'll have people from TNA. Though I think they may have had someone from NXT. They've had people from kind of like every company, and it was kind of like West Side Gun was in like this gray area of like kind of like, oh, okay, cool, kind of every customer, like every brand can kind of get involved, but obviously that doesn't seem to be the results now.
Yeah, I know Matt Hardy's been there recently. I know I said we got
The Hardys are their tag team champions right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and that's like we know Zilla's there. We know Enzo's a part of them.
Yeah, he's their mid-card champion.
Yeah, it's just real strange because it's not Triple H, but we know like WWE and these not even WWE, it's TKO now. We know that they could probably get like real petty and goofy when it comes to things like that. All right, so we're finally at the advertised content, guys. So top 10 Survivor Series matches of all time, matches at Survivor Series of all time. So what are your thoughts on the whole Survivor Series concept? You think it's outdated? Because going through this list, this is like, it was bad for a long time.
Yeah, so, and I don't want to say my list is going to be like honorable mentions. I'm not like I'm just going to throw out some of my favorite matches. Like it's almost hard to like rank some of them and put them in like an order. Because yeah, it is one of the it's weird. It is weird because the obviously classic 5-on-5 has been gone for a couple of years. We're on like year 3, year 4 of War Games, and it's. I don't know. Like, I love the stat because it was in NXT. Like, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are going to be in the women's match, and they've been in every women's match that there's ever been of a War Games. They were in all the NXT ones. They've been in all the ones for the main roster. They're entertaining, this War Game stuff is, but it's almost like it's kind of like the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view concept, the TLC, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view concept. Like, that's that time of year. So now we know in November at Survivor Series, we're going to get a War Games. Brand supremacy to me has been good sometimes. I know people think it was rough in like those later 2000s years. Again, part of those years I wasn't watching. But going through my list, I'm actually kind of surprised. Some of my favorite matches were these 5-on-5 matches. But there has been some cool stuff. And then obviously one of our favorites, which I think will definitely be on both of ours, fits the theme of Survivor Series. And we'll get to that. But yeah, it's definitely, I know it's always been historically in that Big Four show conversation, but I definitely feel like at this point, like, Money in the Bank has it beat. People care way more about that show than they care about Survivor Series.
There's no stakes in it.
No.
So you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to start with an honorable mention. One of the most important matches in Survivor Series history. To go to the Montreal Screwjob, 97. Heartbreak Kid versus the Hitman.
I thought you were going somewhere else for your honorable. Is that an honorable mention or is that your number 10?
That's an honorable mention. Yeah, because I'm obviously like the finish. Like in hindsight, like the drama matters more than the match. The results, a little, there's good about it, there's bad about it, but I don't want to say this. Like I think historically it's something everyone always talks about, but I would say every match on my list are great matches.
All right, so give me what your 10.
My 10, I'm going to go, and again, in no order, I'm going to go Survivor Series 2002 in a hardcore rules match. Victoria beating the love of my life, Trish Stratus.
So I thought that was going to be your honorable mention, but I knew it was somewhat being list. It almost made my list. That is one of my honorable mentions as well. All right, so my number 10 is, you talked about War Games. This is my number 10. It's going to be the War Games with the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre against the Bloodline. You talk about drama and the storylines. Sami Zayn's loyalty tested in this match. The hug, heard around the world. Him finally being embraced by the Usos. Perfect storytelling at its finest. So that's my number 10. the War Games.
And
with the
that
Bowling
was 23,
22.
right?
2.
22.
So that is my number 10, the War Games from 2022. What else you got for me?
My number 9, again, the drama, and you get a good babyface moment. I think I have the year correct. It's 2013, Team Cena versus Team Authority.
That's 14.
14. I had a feeling it was going to be 14. Damn it. I was trying to remember because where the hell I lived at the time. But yeah, obviously the debut of Sting. Ziggler, like it was like I pronounced it right. Yeah, it was Team Cena and Ziggler being the star. You did not think that going into it, and he really was damn near like a sole survivor. And obviously, when you factor in like Triple H and Stephanie, who aren't competing in the match, plus J&J Security, like look at that team. It's nuts. They're like it's stacked. Obviously, some forgettable names or people that didn't really matter in the match, but yeah, I mean. Also, I'm always huge for this. What? Yeah, 2 mid cards. I guess Brock was probably world champion at the time. I love that the Intercontinental and the United States champion were involved. Phenomenal match.
Yep, for sure. Definitely one of my favorites, and you'll see that from me in a little while. And my number 9 is a match that I don't think really got talked about, but I know we got saved by this man on the Go Home show. So my number 9 is going to be AJ Styles and Brock from Survivor Series 17. Like I said, we almost got Brock versus Jinder Mahal, but Brock was not working with Jinder at all. So AJ comes in at the Go Home SmackDown and saves the day. Phenomenal match, no pun intended. Listen, their first interactions at all through their entire career. Perfect storytelling. Brock being the beast. AJ doing everything he can to beat Brock. Doing moves out of nowhere. It was a phenomenal match. So my number 9 is AJ and Brock from Survivor Series 17.
All right. Like it a little more, but you'll hear that one later. So for my number 8, I'm going to go kind of similar concept. Universal Champion Brock Lesnar facing Daniel Bryan as the WWE Champion.
All right. I like it a little bit more than you.
We got a couple ththings we both like a little bit.
I like it a little bit more than you. I like it a little bit more than you. All right. So where we at? Number 8.
So we get to like my top 3. My order is not going to be perfect.
All right. So number 8, I'm gonna go back to your number 9. Like you talked about, Team Cena versus Team Authority match. Phenomenal. Like you said, Cena not even being the sole survivor of his own team. I remember watching this, like losing my mind. Like wow, like they legit like had me. And Dolph Ziggler with the year of his life. He was the Intercontinental Champion, the most over guy on the roster. Lost the IC title to Harper on that Go Home Raw, leading into Survivor Series. He would eventually win it back. But the performance of a lifetime, the year of his career in 2014. And then we got the debut of Sting helping out Team Cena to beat Team Authority. Definitely.
Shout out to Kmart sponsoring this event.
Definitely a favorite of mine. And I believe this did make my match of the decade 5 years ago. So Team Cena versus Team Authority, that's my number 8.
So for my number 7, this is going to be the only match on my list that I did not watch live or wasn't even watching at the time. I may have been watching. I know I didn't watch it like that year. I think this is right around when I'm like phasing out of watching it. I believe it's Survivor Series 03. Team Bischoff versus Team Austin.
All right.
But I've seen the clips of this match on social media ad nauseum. Casual fans, lapsed fans send me the reels of this. The storytelling Michaels did, the way he gets his ass beat and fights back. And then obviously, like, one of the most times you would ever think Austin would stun someone after, and he didn't. It's a great match. Again, there's actually, both team matches. Mark Henry, you see him there in 2014, and 11 years earlier, him over there. star-studded lineup, actually. Besides Jericho and Orton, who are active, I think we got everyone in here is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you're right. Christian. Yeah, you're right. And Mark Henry's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
When me and you were in New Orleans, he went in.
Okay, cool. So I like that match a whole lot more than you because I was watching at that time. So I'll get to that a little later. But my number 7 is a match that I don't think that you might not have seen this, but this match had no business being this good. But the two people in it, it is worth it. So my number 7 is Triple H and Ric Flair from Survivor Series 05, Last Man Standing. I believe I did review this with Jason Peralta. It is in the YouTube.
John Cena is already a better Intercontinental Champion.
This is in the audio archives on YouTube. I mean, on iTunes. So this match had no business being this good. But the matches Ric Flair did excel in during this run were his hardcore matches. And this was not for the IC title. Triple H just returned from his hiatus, took a few months off after losing to Batista. And this match right here was absolutely perfect. I highly recommend everybody watch it because this match had no business being this good. So that's my number 7, Triple H and Flair at Survivor Series 2005.
So I'm going to be a little complicated here, and I'll let you rattle about 2. I'm going to squeeze 2 matches in back-to-back. So we can call this given 2 numbers. Just have it was a fun time, and it was also, I think the last couple times Survivor Series mattered to me. Those 2016 and 2017 Raw versus SmackDown matches, the promos that we had at the time, the build-up, those teases of the Shield getting back together, those iconic promos when Jericho had the list. A lot of fun stuff there, but that was brand supremacy at arguably its best ever.
So that's your number 6?
I'd say my 7 and 6.
I'll give it to you 6 because that's my number 6 as well.
Yeah, perfect.
The 2016 one.
Yeah, 16.
The 2017 one I want to forget. The 2016 one, phenomenal. I remember we came on this show. We raved about this match. The storytelling with the storytelling within the match for everybody's story. Like, for example, you had Rollins and Reigns, and then you had Kevin Owens and Jericho, the best friends, and then you also have Randy Orton joining the Wyatt family.
Inspirational Baron Corbin.
Yeah, James Ellsworth as SmackDown's mascot. And granted, now we talked about this as well. Like, we have these matches, but it's not like there's no stakes. It's brand supremacy, but at the same time, it's like you're not getting nothing out of this other than bragging rights, essentially. But this match, phenomenal, because we were like, all right, they're doing this again, Raw versus SmackDown thing, but this match was amazing. So that's my number 6, the 2016 Raw versus SmackDown elimination match.
So for my number 5, as mentioned earlier, I liked it a little more than you, the Brock Lesnar AJ Styles match.
All right. Got anything else on that?
No, phenomenal, fun time. Also, leading up to it, the excitement of it, WWE Championship changing hands. We're in a SmackDown, which obviously became the formula, and we saw it the following year. But that was exciting. It was, I love telling casual fans, like, if you're watching regular TV, and I don't care if it's the women's tag titles or if it's the Universal Championship, when they change hands on TVs, that's cool. It doesn't happen all the time.
All right, so my number 5 is going to be this computer. All right, my number 5, Team Austin versus Team Bischoff.
Okay.
You said you weren't watching this time. I remember like being in my feelings because we talked about Shawn Michaels' second career might be better than his first. Watch this because this proves that because that was a performance of a lifetime. This match even actually had stakes. It was if Austin lost, he was gone. And the whole lead up to it was, can he trust Shawn Michaels? And Shawn Michaels put on a performance of a lifetime here, and that damn Batista took it from Shawn. Took it from Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels a bloody mess, selling like a mother. Like, goddamn, this match was awesome. Shawn Michaels was phenomenal in this match, and even like Austin's reaction to when the match ended was perfect because he didn't know what happened. Shawn Michaels trying to tell Austin what happened, and like you said, Austin didn't stun anybody because he's just like, how you lose the match, but then Shawn Michaels even shows him what happened in the match. So that's my number 5, Team Austin versus Team Bishop from 03.
So my number 4 is going to be from 2001. Steel Cage Tag Team Championship match. The 2 greatest tag teams of all time, the Hardys and the Dudleys.
That made my honorable mention.
Well put.
Don't even have.
I think
don't
just
have
the child in me.
But it made my honorable mention. That's actually one of the better, like a forgotten match too. It's really good.
Fire.
It is really good. So my number 4, I talked about like this a lot better than you, and that is Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar from 18. Daniel Bryan got his ass beat for 10 minutes straight in this match, and it was amazing. The way the match started, he started playing the whole cat and mouse game with Brock, trying to run from Brock and take him down. And then when he does finally get offense, because also this is Bryan when he just turned heel. He had just turned heel on SmackDown, so we didn't know what to expect. So he's playing cat and mouse with Brock, gets his ass beat for 10 minutes straight. Brock just destroys him even when he does get her hands on him. And Bryan actually gets a lot of offense in after that first 10 minutes and almost even stole this match from Brock Lesnar. A match that I remember we watched this live, didn't pay much attention to it, but a match that I highly recommend everybody watching. And that's my number 4, Brock and Bryan from Survivor Series 2018.
My 3rd, it wouldn't be me if I wasn't messing with my list still at the last very second. You know what? My 3rd, I'm going to move my honorable mention back to the Montreal Screwjob as my number 3.
What a comeback. What a comeback. All right. So
I'll also add the Alliance versus the WWF honorable mention. I'll put that there. Just
honorable mention?
I'll put it as honorable. I'm switching. Never mind. That's my number 3. I'm switching. I'm bipolar.
All right. So I'm glad you know what? I'm actually going to move something over myself. So, but my number 3 is going to be my number 3. My computer will not let me bring this thing up. I'm trying to find it. It won't let me bring it up. It's not going to let me be great. All right. So my number 3 is going to be Austin and Brett from Survivor Series 96. The precursor to what was one of the greatest wrestling matches ever at WrestleMania 13 in 97. It was for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Championship. Phenomenal match. Brett went in with a roll-up from the $1 million, because Austin would let go of the $1 million dream. Also, this was heel Austin at the time. And it's a whole different dynamic from what we learned that rivalry actually be with Austin being the babyface. So it's good to actually see that. So my number 3 is going to be Brett and Austin from Survivor Series 96.
For the record, my number 2 could be number 1. Could be. If you're driving in the car right now and you're listening with your children, mute it for the next 30 seconds. Aaron, you fucked your list up.
Did I?
You had my number 2 was way too high on your list. The Bloodline War Games from 2022 is the definition of cinema. It's the greatest War Games match of all time. I don't care what Orin Tully and Flair ever did in it. I don't care about Kurt Hennig ditching the Horsemen, joining NWO, Adam Cole and anything he ever did in NXT. This was the greatest War Games, the match beyond blood and guts ever. I don't know. The girls in AEW might have outdid it, but Survivor Series wise, top 2 matches of all time. Very rewatchable. In the moment that I popped, I rewatched it the next day. I watched it 6 months later. I watched it within the past year. It's awesome.
All right. Well, like I said,
Even though never mind, I ain't gonna be rude. Never mind.
like I said, the hug is everything. You know, the storytelling was great, but it didn't connect
the low blow.
her around the world. But this match right here, this was money right here. Number 2, winner take all. Survivor Series 2001. Well, how old was I? A 10-year-old A'Lo at the edge of his seat, not knowing if the WWF was going to win this match. It's looking back at it is crazy to me. But
I was eating Papa John's for my first time.
The feels for this match were incredible. The interferences, not knowing what was going to happen. Rock finally beating Austin because Austin had got the best of the Rock throughout the year. Just a phenomenal match, and gets me in the feels every time. Still watching it to this day, even though if you look at this graphic, it's fucking Austin and Kurt representing the WCW and ECW, which is crazy. But definitely a match I still
WCW
hold in
original,
high regard.
Kurt Angle and ECW original.
Definitely a match I hold in high regard. The winner take all Survivor Series 2001 match. So I think I could just do. It don't even fucking matter. I'll
switch the graphic, right?
Just switch it. It's not even
Survivor
close.
Series match of all time.
No, the greatest Survivor Series of all time. Period.
The greatest Elimination Chamber match of all time.
Period. Triple H almost dies a bunch of times. RVD almost dies a few times.
I also love that we have the classic tag championship in the graphic. And I believe Jericho, during his entrance, debuts the new belt. I'm
almost positive that was a debut. I am almost positive that was.
Who was the co-partner at the time?
Christian. Yeah, definitely the best one. And it is to this day.
Look, my notes for the list were a little rough. I watched the promo on TV for this earlier. I look at Kelly. I was like, they don't make these hype videos just like they used to. She's like, well, they don't got music like this anymore. I was like, yeah.
This
what
song,
you know about Saliva?
This song is I still blast because it's on my gym playlist.
I knew it was on your gym playlist.
Yeah. This song, like the whole video, but not even just for this match. Like they had a video package for the entire pay-per-view for each match. Well, it was a video package with all the matches in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fantastic. Actually, like when if you watch the show and they perform at the World, that's when it plays, and it's fantastic.
They play it in the opening package show.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you have not watched this match, if you have watched this match, watch it again.
Also, honorable mention: the opener from this fucking match.
That's on my list. My honorable mention. So my honorable mention is that Jeff Hardy and the Dudleys, Bubba and Spike against 3 Men of War and Rico, Trish and Victoria in the hardcore match, and the Hardys and Dudleys in the cage.
And why? And as a kid, I feel like they did this all the time in triple threats and in fatal four ways. Also, from the same mother effing show, the 3-way tag team SmackDown Tag Team Championships elimination match.
That was good. That was good too. But
shout out again to Los Guerreros. Chavo, welcome back. Send me some of your beer.
But that match, a month prior between Eddie, it was Angle and Benoit against Edge and Ray at No Mercy. That's still the greatest straight up tag team match of all time. Straight up. Is that and the Bucks against Kenny and Hangman. Straight up, no gimmicks, just straight up tag team wrestling.
Real name, no gimmicks.
Just straight up, no ladders, no tables, no chairs, no nothing. Just straight up, pinfall. Fantastic matches. All right, so that's our. You got any more honorable mention, or are you good?
No, I'm honorable mentioned out.
All right, so that's the top 10 matches in Survivor Series history. You got anything else for me, bud?
So I believe we tapped on it a little bit at our last episode, since we brought up speculation, rumors, and the diarrhea we read on the internet, with other topics tonight. Any more on your thoughts on Chris Jericho returning home in the near future?
No more thoughts. He's been it's funny. Like I'll pop for the picture with Kevin Owens. I did pop for that. That really made me smile. That really made me smile. He did post a selfie that he's in shape today. So he did do that.
And then also, I'm not sure exactly what it came from. I mean, the show, I think, aired somewhere else. Maybe it was on Sirius weeks ago, but I think it maybe just hit podcast today. If it was his one with the Dudleys and Hardys talking about their Slammiversary match, but there's a clip going around, and people, the AEW loyalists, are coming for his life. He says something about, now again, people, I do understand we're comparing Slammiversary, which is, if not TNA's biggest show of the year, it's their second biggest show. He was comparing it to what AEW did on Dynamite shows at the 2300 3 weeks in a row. And he said, he's like, if you look at that attendance and you look at the crowd at Slammiversary, that looks like the second biggest wrestling company in America.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously already, showing a little love to the sister company. So I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to him coming back. Hopefully, wrap it up whatever way it goes. But just figured we get a little update on things.
Yeah, because we got the TBD spots in the Cena tournament last time was now. It'd be cool to see him pop up in that. I'm not sure how far he would get in the tournament, but like I said, we've been speculating this for months, and we were talking about it almost every week since it's been coming out. But I'm interested. It's a whole new world for Chris Jericho over here.
Yeah, and the other thing and I get it, I've said it countless times on the show. Like, I like Jon Moxley, I liked Dean Ambrose, but more than anyone in AEW, like, the guy needs a break. Like, he's I don't want to say, like, I'm not saying he's physically, mentally burnt out, but I'm burnt out of him. I'm overexposed to him, and I think that was one of the big things for Chris Jericho. Like, I think a lot of people were complaining, like, oh, like this, but dude, he's really just doing his job. He's a heel. Like, oh, I hate this gimmick. Cool. You're supposed to hate it. But, he's won some accolades. It's awesome at the end of the day. 6 years the company's been around. He's the first world champion, blah, 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 blah. He tried, revitalizing and helping with Ring of Honor. It's all huge, a huge part of the company. But I do think, same thing like we just talked about, with about 6 to 8 other wrestlers that spent some time in AEW and now back in either WWE or NXT. Chris Jericho is going to be more important when he comes back than when he was last in WWE in 2018. And that's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything else for me? I'm trying to get you out of here because my BFF said no flirting.
Nah, that's it for now.
All right, guys. So as always, subscribe on all podcast platforms. Thumbs up, turn your post notifications, subscribe, anything that helps the algorithm. Ringside Collectibles code MMAN, save 10% off your order. Black Friday's
I just used that code last night.
Did you? Did you get the tables?
I'm pretty sure I did. I was drinking, so I don't know how much I got, but I got some shit.
Okay, looking forward to seeing it. There's some nice shorts on here for you to watch on this YouTube channel for you. All right, guys. So that's it for the show. For X2 Fly, Eric Trembicki, I'm A'Lo Aaron Lloyd. We'll see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a SummerSlam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, it ain't safe to land off the cell. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all off the smell.